Hey everybody, welcome to Chanel's Reality. I'm Chanel, and this is my reality. Whoo, child. Listen, a lot's been going on, and so therefore I haven't been um recording as many videos as I would like to. But let me say this: what the fuck is Shannon? What's his name? Shannon Sharpe doing? Listen. Oh, let me start off by saying this: everything on Chanel's Reality is, in my opinion, it is for entertainment purposes only, and it's all alleged. Okay, so don't come for me in the comments. Got it. So listen, I've said to you guys many, many times previously, many, many times before that I always believe victims, and I just feel like so many people have been essayed and don't come forward, and even when they do, lots of times they're shamed and people don't believe them, and on and on and on. You know the story. You can fill in the blank. Okay, so I had been hearing for, I feel like, a week or so, about Shannon Sharpe and, um, hold on one second, and this Instagram model, this young lady, she's 19 years old, I believe. And so I just, you know how sometimes you're in a good mood, you're having a good week, you're just like, I don't even want to be a part of the foolishness. I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. Show don't. But finally, they broke me down, and it was just kind of like, okay, since this tornado hasn't stopped, let me just, let me go chase it. Let me go see what's really up. But like I said, I always believe victims. I do believe, my philosophy is like, I believe victims, but I do think you should verify, right? So if you're going to come on the internet or wherever it is that you're going to go to blast somebody or say that they're lying, they're not truthful, whatever, whatever, whatever. Um, I think just believe but verify, before you put out false accusations and things that could be extremely damaging to someone's reputation, especially if their reputation is, it could be, you don't even have to be a celebrity, because I feel like you should practice this in your own life, but especially if you're a celebrity making millions of dollars and getting endorsements like a Shannon Sharpe, right? So let me just say this sidebar. Why do people still send text messages, emails, any sort of proof? Why are you letting people record you? Why aren't you doing stuff face to face, especially when you're doing some that could get you caught up? So I'm gonna go with, those type of people are dumb as hell, and it just is who they are. Who they are. They're not changing. I can guarantee you, he's probably still reaching out to that lady right now, even though she didn't probably blocked him 3 different ways. Because we all know people with a lot of money, they can figure out how to get to you. Just is what it is. So, because people with no money can figure out how to get to you. Be very clear. But anyways, everyone's been running around America saying, "Oh, Shannon Sharpe." Basically, I felt like they were like nailing him to the cross, and I'm like, I even called my husband, like, what the hell is going on with Shannon Sharpe? Like, why is there a seemingly like, let's take down or let's cancel this man? Because I have very limited knowledge. I just kind of heard the video where she's like saying, he's they're having a conversation. It seems like the conversation is, I want to get you down here, or I want you to do what I want you to do, or maybe we had some sort of arrangement to meet up, and now you playing with me. And when I say that, I mean from Shannon Sharpe's perspective, from what I saw. And then it seemed like the girl, in my opinion, she seemed like she was kind of, I'm like, is she okay? So this is the reason I felt like she was suspect. And I usually don't feel this way. But the way she was talking was like, so I guess she left a lot of like dead air. And to me, that feels like You are asking open-ended questions or making open-ended comments that the person, if you're targeting that person, let's just say, or if you want to get them caught up, you just let this silence, this uncomfortable silence just kind of lay there, right? And so then that person kind of is forced to respond, right? It's just like when you're on a customer service call. They don't want you to have dead air. They don't, it's awkward, right? So when I listened to it, I was just kind of like, is she like I didn't see anything that was super egregious going on in the clip that I looked at or watched and listened to. I didn't see anything super egregious. So I'm like, we canceling this man because he had a conversation in which he was, I guess, heated about whatever this young lady was or was not saying, or maybe agreed to and then, didn't want to do later, changed her mind, whatever the case may be. And now you're, mad at her. That's what it kind of seemed like to me. And so then in during their dialogue, it's like you could hear her saying, don't manipulate me, right? And my only issue is, okay, well, we don't know how many times she said, don't manipulate me. So from my perspective, it's like someone saying, don't lie. You're a liar. You're a liar. You're a liar over and over and again. But then they just push play on the part of the video where you say it one more time and then it becomes, if you say I'm a liar one more time, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do this, that, and the third, right? So that's what it felt like to me. It didn't feel like the punishment fit the crime, right? But we only had so much information, and even now we still only have so much information. So I was just kind of like, I don't know. I can't say that I necessarily one way or the other believed that she was sexually assaulted because I don't know. I don't know none of these people. I wasn't there. And I also can't say, for 100% that he hadn't been, manipulating her and essaying her, sexual assaulting her. I can't say either because, like I said, I don't know none of these people, and it's all alleged. But it just for me, it didn't ring true. It rang like there's more to this story. Mostly because she just, to me, just seemed like she was trying to ask as many open-ended questions as possible to see if he'll say something crazy. So then she could use that information to, I guess, sue him later. That's my impression of the audio information. I do think he was serious when he said, "Imma choke you out, or I'll choke you if you, say I'm a manipulator one more time, or if you use that word one more time." That's not okay. That's a threat. And making threats is illegal, at least in these United States of America. So what the are you doing? But men have been emboldened to do whatever the hell they want to do. They've made all the rules since we've been on this planet. So we're not gonna act like, we don't understand what is going on here. Of course he's in a position of power. He could be in a position of power with no money. Let's be very clear. Stop acting like people can't abuse or violate or rape or molest, whatever it is you want to fill in the blank with, egregious behavior, simply because they're broke. It's a whole bunch of girls going through it in the hood, a whole bunch of women going through it in the hood, right? So this idea that it's like, oh, well, she's up for a money grab and a shakedown and this, that, and the third because he got money. Let's say that's true. And I'm sure in some instances it is true. But let's just say that's true. How do you explain all the broke women that are, getting beat upside the head and violated and whatever else? So what are they staying around for? Assault doesn't have an address or certain level of, glamour or money or race or gender. It doesn't have that. It could come to anybody at any time. That being said, now Shannon is put out some sort of video where he's like reading clearly. I'm just like, you can't sit up here and read a prompter and then say, I'm saying this from the, bottom of my heart or genuinely. It's not, it's not like you were doing, you didn't write it. Let's be clear about that. And this isn't from the heart. Nobody says this is from the heart to all my people when they're being accused of rape. It just doesn't. So now, after watching a few more videos and of him and what he said and other information coming out, I'm like, you probably did something to that girl. Now, I can't say it was SA or not, but if anyone says no, the moment they say that and you continue on, that's called rape. Just is what it is. Just like if you um standing outside and someone's approaching you and y'all, going back and forth and then they slap you, that's assault. Doesn't matter what you say to them, doesn't matter. If you put your hands on someone without their express consent, that's called assault. Just is what it is. And you don't even have to put your hands. You could spit something at them. You could um, throw something at them. It's still assault. So let's just call it what it is. So I pulled up some of the videos that I feel I was just like, listen, I think they gave a great breakdown to what's going on. So we're just gonna sit on here and evaluate those and kind of like talk through what we think about this situation. Um, and I'm gonna just say this one last thing. If Shannon did sexually assault this woman, if he did rape her or was violent towards her, he deserves everything he's coming from, everything he's gonna get. That's how I see it. He deserves everything he's gonna get if any of this is true. But I will say, I don't know how or why, if the young lady knew, and if the rest of the world knew that this man is about to sign $100 million contract, why she would not, why she would interrupt that process before he gets the 100 million. Because it seems like you would have had a bigger payday if you ask me. So the only thing I can think of is there has to be some sort of irrefutable or unrefutable evidence of him doing something against that young lady's will. And there's a lot of people that are running around the internet saying, oh, you know what? He's way too young for her. That's obvious. Captain Obvious. That's true. But she is, according to these United States, an adult, whether you like it or not. But I always give a side eye to anybody that's 7, 8, 9, 10 years older than the person they're dating. The side eye. I give them the side eye because on the internet, people are like, well, he's so old, she could be his granddaughter and this, that, and the third. That's true. And it's disgusting. But let's be clear. She also, I'm certain, knew and knows that he's almost 60. All you gotta do is Google it. And we know we live in a world where everybody Googles everything, and we can talk to Alexa to give us the alleged correct answer. So it's just kind of like, knock it off. Of course, you knew this man was wealthy. Of course, you knew this man is unattractive. Of course, you knew this man was, you know, probably has a big ego because that tends to go with celebrities. Just saying. Pop stars, it doesn't matter if you're in the NFL, if you're in the entertainment industry and anybody knows you, I can promise you there's an ego there. So, oh, let me say this. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit my notification button. So whenever I go live and when I upload, you'll get a notification. And then really it's a free and easy way to support my channel. And support me because I love to support everybody else. But look, I got distracted yesterday at a doggy store. Okay. Am I the only one? And look at what I found. So cute, right? This is everything. This is everything. And of course he has to have two. I don't necessarily like that it's pink. Okay, because my dog is a whole manly dog. Don't come for me in the chat. Yeah, he had to have Chewy Baton. That's so cute, right? All right, so let's get into it. I'm gonna play a few videos and then we'll chat about it. So let me pull up the video. Okay, here we go. Oh Lord, I'm trying to push play on this screen. You can't push play on that screen.
As great as any other women. But I'm not gonna act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared.
Big black guy chose small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
I just want to know, why is so much race play going on? Why is this lady, her name is Gabriella, talking about?
Okay, I gotta pull up the right one. Let me remove this one and pull up the right one. Okay, here we go.
Here, it has happened many, many times since. Someone would intimidate me or scare me and take something that I believe was mine. Get between somebody and their paper. Taking a man's livelihood away from him is akin to killing him.
This just in, the Texas attorney who targeted Sean Diddy Combs with dozens of civil lawsuits on behalf of John and Jane Doe's allegedly victimized by the music mogul has a new target in his sights. NFL legend Shannon Sharpe.
Oh, Lord have mercy. If you said that one more time, I'm going to choke out of you when I see you.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby.
So Dave Chappelle joined the chat on the whole Shannon Sharpe versus Tony Busby drama, and he's hinting that the lawsuit hitting Shannon might not be what it seems on the surface. According to Dave and a few others behind the scenes, this lawsuit is part of a calculated takedown to humiliate Shannon and remind him who's really in charge. Here's the deal. As you all know, Shannon's been on fire lately. His show Club Shay Shay has been giving people like Cat Williams, Monique, and other truth tellers a platform. People who've been calling out Hollywood's shady secrets. And now, just as Shannon was about to sign a $100 million deal, this lawsuit hits. So now Dave Chappelle is apparently hinting that this is not a coincidence. And sources close to Dave are saying he even tried to warn Shannon that this would happen after that Cat Williams interview broke the record for the most viewed interview in YouTube history. And now Dave apparently thinks this lawsuit against Shannon is a warning shot, the kind of message the industry sends when a black man gets too powerful and starts pulling back the curtain. But on the flip side, Tony Busby is firing back back hard. He's saying Shannon's team already offered $10 million to the alleged victim to stay quiet. And Shannon actually admitted this. So that raises the question, if Shannon's innocent, why did he make that offer? And the most damning evidence is an audio recording where Shannon can be heard threatening to choke the ish out of the alleged victim. So what's really going on here? Did Shannon do something foul and is now trying to use a "this is an attack on a black man" card? Or is Dave Chappelle right? And this is really an industry hit job in disguise. Let's break it all down.
Most would have to run the streets for years to learn a lesson that profound. It took me 2 seconds. Never get between somebody and their paper.
Okay, let me first give you some background on this shocking lawsuit against Shannon. On Sunday, April 20th, news broke that Jane Doe filed a disturbing lawsuit against Shannon in Nevada. And she's claiming that Shannon raped her on multiple occasions during a relationship that reportedly started after they met in an LA gym in 2023. Jane Doe is represented by Houston lawyer Tony Busby, who gained media attention over the past year for filing dozens of lawsuits against Diddy and for unsuccessfully trying to sue Jay-Z. So in this lawsuit against Shannon, Jane Doe alleges that Shannon did all types of foul things to her during their short-lived relationship. She claims that Shannon, who is now 56, first met her when she was just 19 and incessantly pursued her. According to the complaint obtained by Deadline, Jane Doe claims Shannon would treat her like an object, choked her, threatened to unalive her, recorded their intimate encounters and shared them with others without her knowledge or consent, and even allegedly told her that he wanted to do things to her that would make no other man want her. The lawsuit further claims that Shannon figured out how to get into Jane Doe's apartment complex without her permission. But it gets even crazier. Jane Doe also described one alleged incident when Sharpe went off on her while a firearm was close by and visible to her. The lawsuit states, terrified for her safety, plaintiff tried sharing her location with friends from her phone just in case. But Sharpe saw her doing this. The moment he realized what she was doing, he grabbed her by the neck and told her, if you ever do that again, I will effing kill you. The lawsuit also mentioned Shannon supposedly accidentally leaking an encounter with another woman named Michelle on Instagram Live back in September 2024.
Wait.
To be clear, Michelle is not the Jane Doe who is now suing Shannon.
Wait.
Told her, if you ever do that again.
Wait, hold on. Why is he grunting like? Shannon, come to the front. Why? Oh, child. Why are you? Let's just move on because I can't. I actually absolutely can't. I can't take it. Child.
Again, I will effing kill you. The lawsuit also mentioned Shannon supposedly accidentally leaking an encounter with another woman named Michelle on Instagram Live back in September 2024. To be clear, Michelle is not the Jane Doe who is now suing Shannon. But Jane Doe claims this incident back in September 2024. Another woman named Michelle on Instagram Live back in September 2024. To be clear, Michelle is not the Jane Doe who is now suing Shannon. But Jane Doe claims this incident not only hurt her emotionally, it made her fear for her sexual health and the risk of STD. Jane Doe claims she tried to distance herself from Shannon after that IG Live leak with Michelle, but Shannon allegedly continued to pursue her. And according to the lawsuit, on October 6, 2024, Shannon forced oral sex on the woman, allegedly holding her in place while she sobbed. But the alleged brutal attack didn't end there. According to Jane Doe, Shannon then forcibly raped her. The complaint then goes on to describe another alleged attack that she claims took place on January 2nd, 2025, when Jane Doe claims Shannon again forced her to perform oral sex for 2 minutes and then raped her. Jane Doe alleged the attack lasted roughly 10 minutes, ending only when Sharpe finished inside her. According to the lawsuit, plaintiff cried and begged repeatedly for him to stop. The suit states, Shannon Sharpe isn't just a sports icon, he's something far worse. He is a flawed, narcissistic individual who has spent years using his fame, power, and influence influence to manipulate, control, subjugate, and violate women. With this lawsuit, plaintiff intends to put an end to this egregious conduct. Jane Doe is asking for a jury trial and $50 million in damages. Now, as for Shannon's initial response to the lawsuit, he first shared a statement via his lawyer, Lanny Davis, on social media, in which he revealed Jane Doe's identity, naming her as Gabriella Zuniga. Zuniga has a notable presence on platforms like OnlyFans and Instagram under the handle @SheIsCarly. In his statement, Shannon cited alleged text messages from Zuniga, claiming that these messages prove that their relationship was consensual. Now, to be clear, Shannon's lawyer didn't include actual screenshots of the text messages. He just quoted them, claiming that Zuniga texted Shannon graphic requests like asking him to choke her with a dog collar and even saying she wants Shannon to impregnate her. Shannon's lawyer said in a statement that Zuniga's lawsuit is a blatant and cynical attempt to shake down Mr. Sharpe for millions of dollars, also adding that the suit is filled with lies, distortions, and misrepresentations, and it will not succeed. Now, as for the recording Jane Doe released where Shannon threatened he would choke her, Shannon's lawyer claims Zuniga heavily edited the recording to make a consensual encounter appear non-consensual.
Anything I say, you're just gonna like get mad at and you're just gonna hang up on me, so I feel like...
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
What does that even mean?
Nothing yet. You want to be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Oh, no, have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm going to choke the out of you when I see you. Thank you.
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter.
Now, according to Shannon's lawyer, everything that happened between Shannon and Zuniga was part of a consensual adult relationship that included role-playing, sexual language, and fantasy scenarios explicitly requested by Zuniga. Shannon's lawyer also added, Mr. Sharpe categorically denies all allegations of coercion or misconduct, especially the gross lie of grape, and will not submit to what he sees as an egregious attempt at blackmail. Meanwhile, Shannon also posted a video online where he called the lawsuit a shakedown and accused Tony Busby of targeting black men, referencing Busby's recent lawsuit against Jay-Z. Shannon claimed that Busby is trying to manipulate the media, and he also said he would sue both Busby and the accuser for defamation.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys.
But here's where it gets even messier. Shannon's lawyer has now been forced to admit that earlier this year, Shannon actually offered to pay $10 million.
Let's break down this statement that Shannon Sharpe gave to the public, to the people, to his family, friends, fans, and colleagues. It's just like, Shannon, stop it. It infuriates me when Black men who don't even like Black women, don't date Black women, so on and so forth. Oh, my computer about to die. Hold on. Hold, please. Oh, my God. Okay. Ooh, child, that was a close one. Interrupt my live. So let's break this down. So like I was saying, it infuriates me when men particularly black men who have never dated a black woman or dated black women way back in the day, or fall in love with the white lady, which to me, fall in love with whoever loves you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not here to try to police people's decisions on who they want to mate with, create with like a baby, or whatever the reason is that they're together. I'm not mad at that part. What irritates me is these idiots who not checking for a black woman nowhere. Okay. Because we supposedly are more emotional and because we talk back and do. Because we not with the fuck shit. Okay. So we're not letting you get off. We've been quote unquote believing in your potential, like some dum dums, meaning women, for years, holding it down, especially black women, I feel. Holding it down. You done went to jail and got caught up. You're not paying your child support and whatever else. We're so forgiving. In my opinion, we way more forgiving than we should be. And then you want to try to gaslight us and be like, oh, well, we don't want to be with black women because they're such a headache, or they're, too demanding or too emotional. And okay, let's just say let's put that idiotic statement out there. Let's put that idiotic statement out there. Why aren't you around for your kids? What they do? The ones you had with the black lady, but now you want to fly the globe first class with the white lady. And it's nothing wrong with the relationship and who you choose to lay down with. Like I said before, the problem that I have is if that's your choice, don't then when you in some bullshit up to your neck, don't then come run to the black people, specifically black women, and say, oh, this is a shakedown and they just trying to target me and this, that, and the third. No, you put a target on your back. You are the one that's engaging in whatever situation you were engaging with, Shannon, with this lady. Whatever that might have been. Freaky, not freaky, dominant, not dominant, playing with her head, not playing with it. Whatever it is that you chose, because this is a choice to do with her, talk to her about it. Don't come or talk to the community of the people that you're dating to save you. Don't come over here back to the cookout in Black America trying to sell us some bullshit and how we should be supported. No, fuck you. You wasn't being supported. You weren't selecting black women when you got this $100 million contract or $10 million or any significant amount of money. You don't give a shit. Black women, in my opinion, in this country are some of the least respected people. We get ridiculed for staying in a marriage too long. We get ridiculed for not being married before we have children. We get ridiculed for being a single mom, and like it's your fault when the man is the one that's out of the picture. But I'm the one that's wrong because I laid down with whomever. Did he not lay down with me? Let's keep it a book. A lot of people in this world, especially on the internet, love to run around and say women need to do better, need to choose better, and this, that, and the third. And they love to say, oh, she's a hoe or she's a slut. And that's the problem. No, let's be very clear. There are hoes and sluts and, angry women and whatever else you want to fill in the blank with. That's very true. But how are you out here calling most black women hoes and then expecting the Virgin Mary when you want to have sex? You want to fuck everything moving. You calling us hoes. I just would like to know if, let's say there's 20 million black hoes in America, let's just say. How are they the only hoe? Who are they sleeping with? They're sleeping with black men. They're sleeping with the hoes. Are they not? How does she become a hoe without him becoming a hoe? Because who are all these 20 million black ladies laying down with, hoeing around with? Who? Black men. because the black men are the people they're having sex with. So why is she a hoe but you not? Why is she a hoe but he not? The same behavior you're trying to belittle and ridicule and be judgmental about is the very thing that our society allows men in general to do, which is go be a hoe. They ain't gonna say, "Oh, he finally got married at 50 and he was a hoe the whole time." They're not gonna say that. They're gonna say, "That's a married man, and he taking care of his family." If a woman choose to be a hoe, sleep around, whatever you want to call it, she's a hoe for the rest of her life. I don't give a shit if she gets married to whomever. It could be the drug dealer dude in the hood. It could be Elon Musk. She's a hoe, as far as society is concerned. But a man can run around being a hoe his whole all the way through his 40s. And when he decides to get married, they're just going to look at him as a married man. Why is that? Because it's a double standard. If a woman gets a divorce from a black man, it had to be she wasn't giving him enough blowjobs. It had to be she was only there for the money. It has to be that, she wasn't doing what she needed to be doing to keep her man, and whatever you won't do, another woman will. All this toxic bullshit that people buy into or spew out of their mouths because they heard somebody else that they view as intelligent say this dumb shit. That's why. But it's very see-through, Shannon Sharpe. I see through your whole message. Your whole shit is made of glass. Be clear. All of it. The problem is you don't realize it, which is why you're getting sued for $50 million. Because you think you're a part of the good old boys clan or group or whatever, and you're not. People like Diddy, Jay-Z, R. Kelly, on and on and on, they feel like or felt like we at the winners table. So ain't nobody gonna be able to mess with us. We got all the money. What Jay-Z say? What's 50,000 to a nigga like me? Can you please remind me? We won't even go down the Jay-Z rabbit hole of it all and they egos. Because they got money and fame and power. So now Shannon wants to appeal to the black people. He wants a dog whistle to all the black people in America, the whole entertainment industry. And this is the crazy part. Like, he really thought, or whomever his team is, really thought it was a smart thing to say to attach himself to Jay-Z. Someone who was being accused of raping a 13-year-old a few months ago. That's not wise. Stand on your own 2 feet. This is not an all lives matter moment. This isn't look at what this lawyer tried to do to Jay-Z. Oh, so he's supposed to believe you because Jay-Z somehow finagled his way out of this lawsuit. That's what you're saying? You're gonna align yourself with a man like Jay-Z when we all know he was dating a teenager when he was in his 20s. Her name is Foxy Brown, or busting her down, or whatever you want to call it. That's what he was doing. It's a fact. Go look it up. I saw the video where she talks about it. They removed it from the internet, but you can try to find it. It's in one of my videos. I played it in one of my videos. So now he wants to come on over here to the black community. That's what they do, though. There's another black person that I can't think of at this moment that did that same exact thing, and he interviewed with Nia Long. I don't remember this man's name, but I know he's famous, and he got caught up in some shit. And he was another one of those black men who conveniently want to go have a black woman, interview him so he can pander to the black people, even though he been standing on your neck this whole entire time. But now that whatever it is that he's been doing over the years is exposed, now he wants to have a conversation about how black women this and y'all my queens and whatever else. Really? So why you ain't invite all your black queens to your parties or to the industry or help them or whatever it is. We only queens when you need us. And we see straight through your bullshit, Shannon. And I'm the person, like I said from the beginning, I always believe victims. I'm never going to say a victim is lying, whatever the case may be. But in this case, something does seem like it's afoot. But this is the bed that Shannon Sharpe laid in. And now he's mad because he laid in a wooden bed with no sheets on it. Now he got all kind of, splinters in his back, and he's trying to get somebody. He's trying to grab a life vest so he can save himself. He's trying to discredit his attorney. I mean, this lady's attorney and her. Meanwhile, you're the one that chose this scenario. Women that date men don't need to be dating men simply because, they got money or fame or whatever. Stop acting like women are so helpless that the only thing we can do, the only thing we can focus on is getting a rich man. Nah. Mm-mm. We're educated, successful women. Be very clear about that. So when I hear a Black celebrity, especially a Black man, say some dumb shit like, I don't date Black women because they this, that, and the third, what I really hear is, I'm not qualified to date those type of Black women. I'm not qualified to have a civil argument with her because I can't hold my own. So I would rather go and have an argument with a 19-year-old. It's easier. We all make dumb decisions, men and women, at 19. But I would love to know what exactly Shannon Sharpe has in common with a 19-year-old. And here's my thing too. If there's a teen in their age, you should probably stay away. So 15, 16, 18, 19, if there's a teen there, stay away. But what are you talking to a 19-year-old about? What do y'all have in common? I can guarantee that lady don't understand football, so that ain't it. She understands TikTok, and this is no shade to her, but I'm saying that's what people that young are into. Social media and, looking at their different platforms and how they can make money on Instagram. And she's an Instagram model, so I guess she figured this is what she's gonna do. But don't get mad because you wanted to go play with the spider and now you're caught in the spider's web. It's a choice. You could have selected someone appropriate. And again, I don't give a shit who you date. Let's be very clear. I don't. But don't date people who you are heavily trying to, who you're 100% trying to donate. I mean, manipulate. Because you think, oh, well, no one's going to believe her and I can get away with it because I done got away with it for 100 years. P. Diddy, Weinstein, R. Kelly, Epstein, probably half the music industry and half of the entertainment industry as a whole. Don't come running back to us because you can't bail the water out of your boat that you chose to ride in. Don't do dumb shit and then expect dumb shit not to be done to you. There's a consequence for every action, good or bad. But I find it so stupid to say, let me go attach myself to Jay-Z simply because Jay-Z's attorneys or whoever his people are were able to discredit the alleged victim. Don't go attach yourself to a person who already has violent tendencies like a Jay-Z. That's who you want to put your name up against and with. That's who you want to secure your freedom and your right to move on and get through the case with. That was a dog whistle to all of the people who had any sort of doubt about Jay-Z's alleged rape and felt like, oh, they're just trying to take down a mogul and whatever else. He's saying that because he's trying to reference this attorney over here. He already tried to do this to another powerful black man and shake him down for however much money. And so that's who I want to attach myself to, because I really just want to dog whistle to the population of people that aren't smarter than fifth graders. That look, this is about race. Look, this man over here, and he only wants to take down black men, and he wants to. No, Jay-Z is already a violent criminal. Already, he's a violent criminal. So he doesn't need any. He's just not. It's not a good look. He's not a person that you want. That's like someone. That's like R. Kelly attaching himself to Weinstein. Y'all both are savages. Why would you do that? Just simply because if hypothetically Weinstein would have gotten taken down before R. Kelly, and then R. Kelly is in the midst of getting taken down, and then he uses Weinstein. Well, he beat the case. And the same lawyer that tried to take down Weinstein is trying to take down me. And this is just a shakedown. No, go find some actual innocent people. Go find some people that have integrity. Go find some people who aren't savage and slithery. Attach yourself to people who are the opposite of that. Why would you attach yourself to somebody who's already accused of sexual assault of a minor and countless other things? It's just stupid. So I don't know who his team is, but all of them need to be fired, because this was not smart. And if anything comes of this, it's gonna get used against him in the court of law. Her attorneys are going to, well, not the court of law, in civil court. I'll say it like that. And you better hope that you didn't have these type of videos or audios or any type of taped confession where you are seen as a person who's taking advantage of young women, or threatening young women, or unaliving young women, or abusing young women. You better hope there's not another one. But let me be very clear. I can guarantee you there are several. Not saying he sexually assaulted several, but I can guarantee you this play that he's running, he'd been to that part of the zoo before. If he hadn't, he wouldn't have been offering $10 million out the gate. And a lot of people say, well, he must be guilty because he offered $10 million. I'm not saying that's automatic, but it definitely makes me think this situation or a very similar situation has happened already. And therefore, let's just go ahead and send her this money. Just like P. Diddy said, run Cassie her money real quick. Not Jay-Z. Shitty Diddy. Yeah, let me go ahead and, because my career or my ego or my fame is way more important than my integrity. So let me run her this $10 million. But I'm going to say too, if now she's suing Shannon Sharpe for $50 million, I'm just saying, I can't say for certain, but to me, that feels like somebody has damning evidence against you. If they passed on 10 million, somebody who ain't ever had M's in their account is not passing up $10 million unless they know that they have a giant as life-size, irrefutable tape, video, audio proof of this man doing something similar or worse. So to me, when you go up $40 million in your cost to be able to get not shaken down or not exposed to the media, that person has significantly upped it, the price to stay silent. $40 million extra. There's something else going on. Just saying. But let's finish listening.
This is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
But here's where it gets even messier. Shannon's lawyer has.
Did y'all catch that? Shannon Sharpe just said, but I'm going to be out here telling y'all whatever I need to say. Let that sink in. Shouldn't the statement be, I'm going to be out here exposing the truth? Saying whatever I need to say sounds like I'll lie. I'm willing to do anything. Stating facts or saying that you're completely innocent, and I want to make sure that I'm going to tell you the absolute truth. So again, these idiots, and I love it, get on camera somewhere and hang themselves, because no good attorney is going to tell his client that's being sued for $50 million to go on a platform and say that he's going to do anything, he'll do anything, and tell us anything. In fact, no good attorney is going to tell the client to say anything. Shut the fuck up is what the client will say. It never, I don't understand why people do not use their Miranda rights. They are there for a reason. And I'm not talking about literally, like the kind that, you're getting pulled over by the cops and you're getting interviewed by the homicide detective. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, shut the fuck up and let the people who went to school and studied law and how to interpret it, they're supposed to be experts, talk for you. Don't talk for yourself. That's why they say you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. So when people like Jay-Z, Shannon Sharpe, Diddy, and on and on and on, R. Kelly yelling at Gayle King and all that kind of stuff, when they do that, they're putting a hole in the boat that they riding in every single time. You're giving the people who are suing you endless amounts of evidence against yourself when you don't shut the hell up. And in these group of people like this, they feel as though nobody can take me down. I told you it's that ego thing. I've been doing this for 40 years. I've been doing this since I've been in the league. I've been doing this since I'm 19, whatever it is. Why would I think now anyone should say anything about me? And that's the problem. They think they're above it. When in reality, they're up to their neck in it. And they can't stop themselves. It's like those people who decide they're going to represent themselves in court. What's the saying? How does it go? It's something about a man is a fool if he has a fool for a client, basically, if he wants to represent himself. Because again, let the people who went to law school, who can interpret the law and know all of the shady things and other legal things that other attorneys are not allowed to do. Or at least they could object to it. Let those people fight your fight. But I'm glad these idiots aren't smart enough to realize that they should not say anything out loud. Shut the fuck up and let your attorney talk for you. It's not that difficult. But I'm so grateful that they don't listen to Chanel's reality, because listen, they would probably win. But that ego, it gets the best of us. Okay, let's finish listening.
Has now been forced to admit that earlier this year, Shannon actually offered to pay $10 million to Zuniga to make these allegations go away.
Shannon Sharpe tried to make the whole thing go away with $10 million, but y'all, it didn't work. His legal team just confirmed that he offered his accuser at least $10 million during private mediation talks before she hit him with that $50 million sexual lawsuit.
So yeah, it's kind of wild how Shannon's out here calling Zuniga a liar, but also offered her $10 million to make it all go away. I mean, if it's all fake, why not hit her with a defamation suit off top instead of trying to pay for her silence? At the same time, Tony Busby wasn't having it, and he jumped on Instagram to defend his client, saying, on the one hand, Mr. Sharpe and his lawyers claim that the case filed by Jane Doe is meritless. Yet on the other hand, they now have disclosed that Mr. Sharpe offered Jane Doe $10 million in writing not to file her lawsuit. That is a true statement. Jane Doe was in fact offered $10 million to settle, but rejected that offer, choosing instead to proceed with litigation. Sharpe's team is now trying to discredit and dox her. Sharpe and his team are now, as anticipated, also attacking me. We are not going to be deterred by these tactics. But just when you thought the situation couldn't get any messier, it's now getting even wilder, with Dave Chappelle reportedly stepping into the combo. Sources close to Dave are saying he tried to warn Shannon that something like this might come down the line, especially after he started giving the platform to people like Cat Williams and inviting guests who weren't afraid to call out some major power players in the industry. Apparently, Dave tried to warn Shannon that they don't like it when you shake the table and get too big for your boots. Meanwhile, fans are also pointing out that the timing of this lawsuit against Shannon is very suspect, since it came just when reports started surfacing that Shannon was expected to sign a media deal worth over $100 million. And you know how Dave Chappelle already said these big money deals always come with strings attached, and if you don't play by their rules, they can snatch the rug right from under you.
It was completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14, and I've heard the stories of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Okay. When you say you heard the stories, what do you mean? What stories?
I mean, you see before, look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, "They're trying to kill me."
Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time of their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah. Would you say you lost your mind, sort of?
No, not exactly.
Okay.
I wasn't crazy, but it's incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
And I felt like in a lot of instances, I was deliberately being put through stress.
Now, on the other hand, some fans are saying these are all excuses. And even if these allegations are false, Shannon should have known better, because being 56 and dealing with a 19-year-old OnlyFans model is crazy work. One user on X said, Shannon Sharpe is a 50-plus-year-old man. That girl was 19 when they met in 2023, younger than his youngest kid. He's a mess, and I don't feel bad for him. He had no business doing that. And someone else added, a lack of sexual discipline will really have you out here looking crazy. Shannon Sharpe was born during Jim Crow and was paying for race play from a white woman born after Chris Paul was drafted. He looks insane on several levels. But let me know how you feel about this mess. Do you think Shannon is really being targeted by those higher-ups Dave Chappelle warned him about?
I don't. Sure don't. Let me pull up my next video.
Women are as great as any other women. But I'm not going to act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared.
Big black guy chose small white woman.
Wow.
It's not a good book, Shannon.
I just want to know, why is so much race play going on? Why is this lady, her name is Gabriella, talking about, yeah, I want you to put a big black baby in me? Is that what people that date outside their race do? Is that what y'all do?
Men like Shannon Sharpe go after women whose frontal lobe have yet to develop, and then when they prove to you that they are still children, it's How dare she try to manipulate me? How dare she try to get money from me? Why do you think she was your old ass?
So remember when Cat Williams went on Club Shay Shay and told Shannon Sharpe straight up that messing with white women could get him caught up? Yeah, well, he wasn't joking. He was warning him. And now that clip is going viral again because people are realizing Cat was right. And Shannon was already in the middle of that exact situation. In case you missed it, Shannon is now being sued by a white OnlyFans model who's way younger than he is. And I'm talking about a woman who was a literal teenager when Shannon started messing with her, young enough to be his granddaughter. So this woman is now accusing Shannon of rape and is asking for $50 million and a trial by jury. But here's another crazy part. It now turns out that Club Shay Shay interview with Kat was recorded while Shannon was already involved with this same woman. And now folks are going back to those clips from the interview and pointing out how nervous Shannon looked when Kat started talking about how white women can take you down in 2 weekends.
You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends.
But y'all, it gets even messier. It's not just the fact that this woman was barely out of high school and white. It's the fact that the lawsuit says Shannon was into some wild stuff in the bedroom, including race play. And if you don't know what race play is, well, look it up because YouTube will not let me get into those specifics here. But let's just say people online have zero sympathy for Shannon after hearing what he's into. I mean, messing with a teenager at his age was bad enough, but engaging in race play with her just took it to another level of depravity. And mind you, the whole race play thing was most definitely what Shannon requested from this girl. She was basically a paid worker. He asked her to do some sick racial stuff. She agreed to role play, but then stopped playing her role long enough to make it seem like his actions were not consensual. And just like that, everything Shannon has worked for all these years goes down the drain. But fans are not feeling bad for Shannon at all. And they're saying he got exactly what he was warned about. The lack of discipline and discernment at his big age is just baffling. But hey, that's what you get being almost 60 and still trying to be in these streets. Cat Williams literally tried to tell him, and now it's blowing up in his face. But there's a lot more to unpack here, so let's get into the full story.
You having an unnatural allegiance to losers does not like it.
Okay, y'all. In case you're out of the loop, Shannon Sharpe is facing a $50 million civil lawsuit filed in Clark County, Nevada by a woman identified as OnlyFans model Gabriella Zuniga. The lawsuit alleges that Shannon raped Gabriella at least twice during their brief relationship, emotionally and verbally mistreated her, recorded and shared their intimate encounters without consent, and even made threats on her life. According to the lawsuit, Shannon met Gabriella at a Los Angeles gym in 2023 when he was 54 and she was just 19. Now, the age gap alone is already crazy enough because even if everything is consensual, this is straight up predatory behavior. This girl was 16 during COVID. Let that sink in, y'all. She's younger than Shannon Sharpe's youngest child. She could literally be his granddaughter. I mean, that alone is already disgusting. But it gets even weirder when you hear what type of stuff Shannon was into. So it seems that this girl was essentially a paid ex-worker because in one of the text messages Shannon released trying to prove his relationship was consensual, Gabriella mentioned asking for $25,000 for each cheek. But that's not all. Other weird things Gabriella texted Shannon were asking him to put a big black baby in her, and even saying she wants to put her tongue in his brown balloon knot, if you know what I mean. Now, I think we can all assume this 19-year-old girl wasn't into Shannon like that. And she most likely said these things because Shannon specifically requested some type of race play.
It's becoming more and more clear to me, in my opinion, that he has a race fetish. He has a fetish for that type of dynamic. Think about it. This was a 19-year-old white woman when he met her. I don't know any 19-year-old white woman that's running around hollering about a big black baby.
Yeah.
And baby gravy.
Yeah.
Shannon was a 54-year-old big black grown-ass man from the backwoods of Georgia. Gravy sound like some shit he's familiar with. Big black babies, he probably seen a few in his day. Born in the backwoods of Georgia where he grew up with his grandma and all the other folks. But I just don't think that came from her. Now, is she repeating it back in those text messages? Yes. That's why he released her messages, not his. Peep that. Okay. We haven't seen what his responses was. And I guarantee you, when they post those messages, y'all gonna see. All of that race started with him. It's a fetish. And he could only play that kind of stuff out with a young girl. He couldn't like Monique was trying to tell him, get an older gal. Older gal ain't going for that. They was going to immediately knew he was a freak and a weirdo. A 19-year-old don't know no better. That's why she repeated it back to him, because he said it to her first. Older men, that's why they tend to want to be with younger women. They're more impressionable. They can mold them. They can shape them to be what they want them to be, do what they want them to do. You let him come to a 40 or 50-year-old woman talking about put a big black baby and baby gravy. We gonna be looking like, what's wrong with you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that started with him. Mark my words, it's gonna come out. But that race stuff started with Shannon.
Now, whether this arrangement Shannon had with this girl was consensual from start to finish, or it got out of control at some point, that's gonna be up to the courts to decide. But Shannon is not looking good in this mess at all, especially after Gabriella's lawyer, Tony Busby, leaked an audio where Shannon is threatening to choke Gabriella. Now, this whole conversation is weird from both sides, and it sounds like she's baiting him to say some messed up stuff about a big black man choking a small white woman. But the fact that Shannon actually sounds like he gets off on that type of stuff makes him look like a whole creep.
Well, what, Gabby?
Well, you're coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Gabby.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah, I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
Not a good look that you did what you did to me.
Okay, well...
I've got this dream, and you're all in it.
Let's hear it.
With Wells Fargo Premier, a team can help you plan for your dream.
I have this vacation home.
That's like a getaway.
Well, what?
I told you all this conversation is weird from start to finish. And to me, they both talk like this is some sort of role play. But this girl may have baited him with the talk they always did, recorded it, and now she can say it wasn't consensual. But again, Shannon's got no one but himself to blame, because imagine being an almost 60-year-old man and still not being able to control your urges, messing with a 19-year-old and thinking she won't play you. The lack of self-awareness is just mind-boggling. And get this, Shannon is now trying to use the black man angle, claiming that Tony Busby only goes after successful black men.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself, because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine.
Now, even if Shannon is right about Busby, how are you going to use the black man card when you literally engaged in race play? And notice how Shannon tried to get ahead of the narrative, saying that Busby plans to release part of the private tape that plays into every stereotype. So in other words, Shannon paid a white woman to degrade him as part of some sick racial role play. But now we're supposed to feel sorry for him because he's a black man? Why
is this lady, her name is Gabriella, talking about, yeah, I want you to put a big black baby in me? Is that what people that date outside their race do? Is that what y'all do? Are y'all into race play? Like, I feel like there's probably in the bedroom doing like slave shit. I mean, I don't feel like that's too far fetched. She talking about put a big black baby in me. Like what I don't get it. What is going on? He needs to address that. The lawsuit, address why the hell she was saying that and why you were allowing that. Because after she said that, you should cuss her the out. What is going on, Shannon?
And mind you, Shannon used his platform for years to clown Black women, but now is asking for sympathy? Yeah. Let's just say the only people who are defending Shannon right now are delusional old men like him who think a young girl actually wants them for them. Everyone else is calling it like it is and clowning Shannon for acting this reckless.
Listen, the way Shannon Sharpe is moving, right? Granted, he's rich, famous, cool, he's successful in that aspect, but bro, when it comes to a love life, that is not the life I want to live. I do not want to be 54, 40 plus years old or 54 years old, sleeping with 19-year-old women, sleeping with women that only want to use me for what I can provide, dealing with women that could potentially mess up my career, my future, or cause me so much stress. When it comes to dealing with multiple women, there's always problems. It's messy. I want to be as drama-free as possible for as long as possible. Like I said, there's always going to be problems. They can start a rumor about you, and it can mess your image up, it can mess your face card up, or you can even end up getting one of them pregnant. You could be on child support for 18 plus years. I said the same thing about Future a few months ago, and y'all was like, no, bro, Future can never be lame. He's not lame for doing this. Future is lame for doing the same thing Shannon Sharpe is doing, and a bunch of men are doing, period, in general. We make sleeping around as men cool, like just being super reckless cool as men, and it's not cool.
But fans online are not the only ones clowning Shannon for being a weirdo. There's also Cat Williams, who literally tried to warn Shannon last year when he appeared on Club Shay Shay. Cat talked about being scared of white women. And if you pay attention to Shannon's body language when Cat said that, it's clear Shannon knew Cat was addressing him directly.
That was my only goal. I didn't want to get with a white woman because I was scared she might have me running down the street like Jonathan Majors.
There you go, come on, Cat.
Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not going to act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends. And that's the truth of the matter. So I stayed away from that. And remember, I told you the story from when I'm in the park.
Yeah.
So these are just the things. I had all of those when I came in. I already was ready for that.
And it wasn't just Cat. Monique appeared on Club Shay Shay shortly after Cat's interview went viral, and she also warned Shannon about messing with much younger women.
You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl. I know. This is your auntie talking to you. Take your get your old out there that can love you old. You're trying to hang out with these young and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it.
Told you. I told you. I told you. You ain't tell me.
And looking at the timeline from this lawsuit, it's clear Shannon was already involved with this OnlyFans model when Cat and Monique appeared on Club Shay Shay. And the way Shannon was just sitting there giggling while Monique tried to drop some real knowledge, that's your first red flag there. He wasn't trying to hear it. Now here we are, and it's all catching up to him. And whether or not the allegations from the lawsuit are true, Shannon's reputation is done. He's out here exposed for being into race play and messing with women younger than his own kids. So the next time Shannon wants to get on a platform and dish out advice, just know he's been permanently discredited. And like I said, you won't find too many people feeling sorry for him. The whole interwebs are clowning him, and everyone is saying he should have listened to Cat while he had the chance. But he's made his bed now, and now
he certainly has. And I do not feel bad for him. What they say, what the young people say, play stupid games, get stupid responses. Okay, let's listen to one of my faves, Make It Make Sense. He's giving a breakdown on his channel as well. So let me load this video.
Got a interview with Shaq's attorney. I'm sorry, with Shannon's attorney. And I feel like, well, just let you listen.
Well for her. And I think her lawyer, who's known for other practices, as Mr. Shannon pointed out, of suing Black men, I don't think her lawyer is fully prepared for what's going to happen to her when she must take the witness stand because she filed the lawsuit. She can't decline to take the witness stand. She will be subpoenaed by us. If she declines, in my opinion, the lawsuit will be dismissed.
You're going to court. Is there a settlement here? Because every legal person I've seen online or in a story is like, this will settle. This will settle.
This will not settle. We are going to sue her for defamation and many other causes of action that involve and potentially a criminal act is blackmail. And that is what happened here. And we have the evidence of blackmail, and we will prove it in court. This will not settle. She is going to be proven to be a liar. My client's reputation, his family, he's been embarrassed, and he is going to be vindicated by a jury that will find her guilty of lying, and she will have to pay heavily for these false attacks on.
Now, I was not expecting this. Technically, you don't see people suing the person who's suing them. Like when this happened with Jay-Z more recently, I feel like it was a shock to most people because you don't typically see it. So this is a very aggressive stance. They have already doxed her, given us her name, her occupation, and now they are going to sue her. Couple differences. This did not come as such of a surprise to me specifically because of this.
Friends.
Notice how many references he uses to Jay-Z and Busby in his initial response to the allegations. Because at this point, they are just allegations. We don't know.
Supporters and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation. And
do I think he's smart for playing the card that he has? Yes. Do I think that the public see it as his card? No. And the card that I'm saying is the black man card. Mm-hmm. This is less to do with black men and more to do with your stupidity. Right. Your stupidity for not having this girl on NDA. Mm-hmm. Just my opinion, it's legal, but a 54-year-old and a 19-year-old OnlyFans model, what could go wrong? I think it's your stupidity, Shannon. I think that is the problem. But now putting it off on black men, I likened it to the Kanye West situation the other day. You married Kim Kardashian. You knew who and what she was when you married her. Now that you're divorced, all we keep hearing is, she won't let me see my black babies. And you want us to rally around you in your stupidity. Mm-hmm. We're not. Oh, you guys can put in the comment section if you are. I'm not rallying around these type of situations. Him suing her is a very aggressive stance, but I don't know that it will work. Just my opinion. We'll go back to his attorney. And his attorney seems real seasoned. I don't know if this is his last case or not, but in this interview, Don Lemon was basically railroading him. It was like he was trying to struggle to get out what he had to say. And it's like, you're not even on CNN anymore. You're on YouTube. So this should have been a really big interview because Shannon is trending right now. But I did not necessarily like the way that, CNN is very specific. You have segments. You have producers telling you, we can't go over this amount of time. This is not the same. And it felt rushed. And it looked like he was damn near having some breathing. I don't know what's going on with Shannon's attorney. This is his second set of attorneys. Maybe they're telling him to take such an aggressive stance. I want to know who the attorneys were that was telling this man to give $10 million initially. It's a lot going on, y'all.
Let me ask you, I told you to hold that thought. I forget what it was about because you were speaking. Do you remember what it was? Is it producers? Do you remember? Because I wanted to talk to you about it. There's so many things here.
Sorry.
You guys remember, Nikki, anybody? So you're not going to settle. Let's talk about ESPN.
Yes, please.
We don't need to get into it. He's not settling. You guys can definitely check out the entire interview on Don Lemon's channel. I will link it. Sometimes you'll see me in his chats.
I love making make sense.
Now, his first alleged victim, Michelle, has been talking a lot. She gave an exclusive to The Sun. She says, Michelle explained her reasoning for dropping the restraining order back in 2010. After I filed the restraining order, I was sitting in my apartment with my daughter. I had a basement floor apartment with the door leading out to the sidewalk. So I was right there, vulnerable. And somebody came up to my door and said, shut up, effing B. And I ran and I dropped it right then because I had a child at home with me at the time, and having someone coming to my door with her there, you know, that no. Evans addressed the current lawsuit against Sharpe filed on behalf of Jane Doe. I want people to understand what Shannon did to this woman by doxing her, by putting out her name, by putting out her OnlyFans account. That was horrifying because things are going to happen to her because of that. Evans was referring to Sharpe publicizing the name of his accuser after she filed her lawsuit anonymously at Jane Doe. I still get it to this day. And I went through a lot of things, as you can see in the complaint, that actually even stemmed from it. In the complaint, Evans claimed she married another man after she broke up with Sharpe. She said she was arrested and incarcerated for a 2017 domestic incident involving her husband, whom she claimed was abusive. She said Sharpe submitted 2 sworn affidavits to the court replete with falsities in an attempt to exacerbate the severity of my judicial sentencing. Evans' lawsuit is ongoing. She's seeking $4 million in damages. A rep for Shannon responds to U.S. Sun's request for comment. Michelle Evans' claims are ridiculous and completely without merit. She could not find a lawyer to take her case, and if you read her complaint, you'll see it is filled with nonsense. Shannon has had no contact with her for many years, and we understand that she is still on probation after serving 3 years in prison. In Jane Doe's lawsuit, the accuser is seeking $50 million in damages. So let's get back to this. Shannon said that this woman was crazy and she ran over her husband. We've heard it from him. We've heard it from his attorneys. If you felt that somebody was crazy and they put false claims of the R word on you, when the husband reached out to you to testify, you said no. But now you want us, the court of public opinion, to side with you. But when given the opportunity to help another dude out who married her and she ran over him, I think Shannon's exact quote was, I have no bad blood with her. I'm just done with the situation. It is interesting how now you're in another situation with this woman and you are wanting and needing other people to assist you in, I would say, in your time of need. Because at this point, although Shannon is a rich guy, potentially losing out on a $100 million contract, having to step away from ESPN, this would hurt anybody's pockets. This man was about to blow up in a way that I don't even think he imagined when he was a full-time football player. I'm interested to know how y'all feel about this. Do you believe the first victim or do you believe Shannon? Do you guys believe that Shaq might have been digging around for dirt, whether he actually found this particular young lady or not? Do you think that Shaq has the capacity to have it out for somebody so bad to like dig up dirt?
Absolutely. I do. Sure do. Like I said, a lot of these people are a bunch of savages with money. So they think they can do whatever they want. And why shouldn't they? That's what our society allows. Let's play a little of what Shannon said, I guess. And
The more information.
You're coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Daddy.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah. I might choke you in public.
I just can't with these idiots. But thank God that they're idiots. Thank God for the level of stupidity. Let's see what this person has to say. Oh, no.
A Nevada civil lawsuit filed by a woman who says her consensual relationship with Sharpe eventually led to multiple.
This is a shakedown.
Facing rape and sexual assault accusations, tonight Shannon Sharpe is not backing down.
I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right.
Today, the former NFL star turned podcaster posting this video statement in response to a Nevada civil lawsuit filed by a woman who says her consensual relationship.
Pay attention to what he says. The reason is he's doing what he's doing. He says, because it's not right. He didn't say, because I'm innocent. Catch it. Let's listen to it one more again.
Today, the former NFL star turned podcaster posting this video statement in response to a Nevada civil lawsuit filed by a woman who says her consensual relationship with Sharpe eventually led to multiple assaults. The lawsuit also accuses Sharpe of secretly recording their sexual encounters without her consent. The plaintiff, listed as Jane Doe, is represented by attorney Tony Busby, who has represented accusers in several high-profile sexual assault cases, and who Sharpe called out by name.
Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself.
Also new today, Jane Doe's attorney releasing an audio clip alleging it shows Sharpe threatening the plaintiff.
I'm not going to hang up on you. Here's what it is.
The plaintiff says, "Don't manipulate me." Then Sharpe allegedly responds,
"Oh, Lord have mercy. If you said that one more time, I'm going to choke the out of you when I see you."
NBC News has not independently verified the audio's authenticity. It's also not clear if this excerpt was part of a longer conversation. We asked Shannon Sharpe's attorney about the recording late today.
So I think that whoever his PR team is, they all need to be fired because he don't need to be saying anything because he's guilty, in my mind, of something. So it is what it is. I don't know none of these people, so it's all alleged, and in my opinion, but the way he's moving feels guilty to me. And it ain't changing over here unless he has some very damning, evidence that will rule out all of the other stuff that has been presented to the world about him in this 19-year. Was one other thing I wanted to. Oh, this is the play I think he's gonna make, or his attorneys will make. They will say, "Well, Shannon is a Hall of Famer, football player. He's a very successful man, and if he said any of this, in football, there are studies that show, that players can have anger and fits of anger, and lose control because they have CTE, which is that apparently it's some sort of disease or something that happens to your brain, specific parts of your brain, like anger and, rage and stuff like that. And so there's been lots of, there's been some studies, but lots of players who are, after they pass away, because I think that's the only time you can see the CTE, is after death. Kind of like with women, if you have endometriosis, the only way for them to know for sure is to have surgery. Then they'll know for sure. There isn't an X-ray or an MRI that can tell you what it is until you're dead, at least with CTE. But I feel like that's a card he's going to play because the other cards are weak and everybody sees straight through it. If you have any ounce of brain cells, we could see he's reaching. He's aligning himself with people who have been accused of the same exact thing that he's been accused of, which is sexual assault. You're aligning yourself with people who are already violent, have been arrested for being violent, with pew-pews and knives and all kinds of stuff. You're aligning yourself with people who continuously, allegedly, are very slithery. I'm not gonna align myself with a predator. But Shannon decided, let me align myself with someone that was accused of raping a 13-year-old. Like, even if Jay-Z, quote unquote, won and, they dropped the lawsuit, whatever happened, I'm still not aligning myself with R. Kelly. Because people will say, oh, that was they was trying to take that black man down. I'm not aligning myself with Weinstein or Epstein or 5,000 others. I'm not doing that. It's not a good look to say, well, you're going to see just like, Jay-Z, you try to take him down and now you're trying to take me down. This play and pandering to the black community, especially black women, is bullshit. He must really think we are uneducated and don't have an ounce of brain cells that we can't see straight through it. Your whole shit is made of glass. Period. He think that's the life vest he should put on. You might want to leave Jay-Z where he at. Because I know Jay-Z somewhere like, don't bring my fucking name up. I barely got away with that one. Don't bring my name up. I'm pretty sure he got a phone call after he said that. But I do agree with Make It Make Sense when he says Shannon Sharpe's attorney blatantly coming out here and saying there will be no settlement and she's going to be found out. That's a very powerful thing to state. It's a very strong thing to state when you don't have all the facts. I'm just saying, you don't know what that lady has. I mean, especially since her lawsuit went from 10 million to, especially since she declined $10 million and said, nah, sis, I want 50 million. So she upped her payment amount or her settlement amount $40 million more. Who does that? Like, who does that? Y'all know anybody? Who passes up $10 million when I ain't never had an M in my account ever? You ain't got no M's in your account, sis. So you passing up 10 million and then piling on another 30, 40 million? Like, what the hell? So to me, that says she got some evidence of some sort. She could be bluffing. Her and her attorney could be bluffing, but it's like, who's gonna move first? He's trying to protect his reputation, but your reputation kind of went out the window when you're on this phone call telling this lady you're gonna choke her if she say that word one more time. And lots of people on the internet like, oh, they were role playing. Were they? People love to make excuses for bad behavior, typically because it's some of the behavior they participate in. So, of course, I'm gonna jump on this bandwagon. It's just not a great look. But let's finish listening.
He is acknowledging this is a recording of him, but that it's being taken out of context.
Ciao.
My lawyers are telling, the legal team is telling me that we can't authenticate it if he said that, and he's not denying it. This is his statement that he did not mean it. It was in the heat of the moment in the middle of an argument.
Sharpe's attorney, Lanny Davis, also says the Hall of Famer offered his accuser at least $10 million in mediation before the lawsuit was filed.
Shannon Sharpe's willingness to pay is not an admission of anything that he did wrong. It was a willingness to pay for the protection of his family and himself.
Despite the graphic public allegations, Sharpe was talking sports on ESPN this morning.
This is an absolute must-win. LeBron James is going to have to be the LeBron James that we know him to be.
The sports network declining to comment on the lawsuit as Shannon Sharpe offered this promise today.
And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do.
Jesse Kirsch joins us now from Miami. Jesse, Sharpe is planning now to take legal action on his own, correct?
That's right, Ellison. Sharpe's attorney says his client's accuser is making, quote, a maliciously false claim, and Sharpe's attorney is promising a lawsuit to, quote, hold her accountable. I also asked Sharpe's attorney if the former football star would proceed with legal action if the accuser were to drop her lawsuit. And Sharpe's attorney says he does not know what Sharpe would do in that scenario, but says his recommendation would be to move forward with legal action. Ellison?
Jesse Kirsch, thank you.
You know what? All I'm going to say is this is what Shannon Sharpe, Diddy, Jay-Z, and all the others had to say to them being accused of sexual assault. And it's just baffling to me and funny as hell. Okay.
Now, grant you, I partied. But there have been times when I know I was going through a lot of emotional stress and my eating habits were awful.
Whitney John. So they said, no. Well, guys, this live is coming to an end, honey. I got to go meet with some of my clients. And yes, I work on Sundays. I'm a paper chaser. Just saying. Again, like the video, subscribe to the video. It's a free and easy way to support my channel. Thank you guys so much for participating and enjoying watching Chanel's reality. I'm Chanel, and this is my reality. Love you guys. Have a good rest of your Sunday. Bye. You know what? Why is this song in my head? Hold on. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Hold on. Let's see.
Give my heart to break. Could the one I gave my heart to break my heart so bad? How could the one who made me happy make me feel so sad? Won't somebody tell me so I can understand? If you love me, how could you hurt me like that?
I mean, I woke up with that song playing in my ear. It's just been there all day long. So I'm going to infect y'all with it. You know how like when someone yawns, then it makes you yawn? It's contagious, right? But that song, I don't know what I was listening to before I went to sleep, but it is just playing in my head all day long. But again, hit that like button. Talk to you guys later. Love you all. Have a good one. Bye. Enjoy your Sunday, honey. Because I'm going to